What's your message to Elon Musk?
Probably you.
What does your sign mean?
Hands off.
No muskrats. What's your message to Elon Musk?
Go home. We don't want you here.
What's your message to Elon Musk?
Go bankrupt.
Thank you.
Liberal protesters are finding out the hard way that damaging Teslas on the road will only make things worse for them. The takedown of Tesla didn't work out as many saw the day of protest as a dud. Elon Musk announces his intent to step down from DOGE, and there's some pretty big news related to the stimulus refund checks, as it looks like we're actually getting closer to a possible release. And CNN's Jessica Tarlov does her best to avoid admitting that DOGE is doing a good job. Guys, I got all of that and a whole lot more. Now I want to go ahead and start with how stupid some people can be. Now I know it's a tough term, but if you want to ram a Tesla, you better make sure that it's equipped to handle it, as well as the charges that may follow as these liberals still don't understand how a camera works.
Texarkana man is behind bars for allegedly damaging multiple Tesla vehicles. Police arrested.
Hey, by the way, guys, if you're one of the real ones who really enjoy what we do here on the channel, you've got to check out the Inner Circle. This is where our true supporters get exclusive access to content that I just can't share here, completely commercial free. It's also the best way to keep this channel going strong. So if you want to be a part of something special, join us over there. Links in the description or in the pinned comment down below.
33-year-old DeMarquio Cox on criminal mischief charges and failure to identify. Now, police say that Cox reportedly used a small ATV to ram into one of the Teslas, which was captured by surveillance cameras on the car. Now, he apparently damaged two other Teslas, and at this time, police say there is no motive.
Right. The initial incident, he rammed the car with the four-wheeler, and then the two subsequent incidents is he actually used some kind of tool to scratch the dotted line into the paint of the vehicles there. But he's not told us, what his motivation for doing that is or was.
Cox is booked at the Bi-State Justice Center jail in Texarkana, and bond has been set at $105,000.
Now, if you're planning to vandalize a Tesla, it might be time to rethink that thought, okay? You really got to ask yourself if you have the money to get yourself out of jail. That is, if you're even given that much leeway, because some are already facing possible prison sentences. And as you guys can see, we have the usual set of suspects from the radical left, with each one of them now facing up to 20 years in prison for Mazel Tov attacks on Tesla properties. And speaking of usual sets of suspects, why didn't anyone tell me that Ellen DeGeneres was back on American soil?
We brought you this story Tuesday and Wednesday, and the victim told us, look, this was important. I wanted to press charges because he believes that he was targeted. Well, the suspect caught at the Aventura Mall in the food court. So this is the mugshot of Yamaris Marrero. And on March 22nd, police say this is also Marrero spreading gum on a Tesla and spitting at it. Look at it right there. This all happened in the Aventura Mall's parking garage. You think you were definitely targeted because of Elon Musk?
Absolutely. Without a doubt. Again, there was no personal interaction.
The victim, who didn't want to show his face, says he was targeted.
Unfortunately, a divide in our country where certain views that are not accepted by a subset.
So Local 10 airs the story Tuesday and Wednesday, and guess where Marrero was spotted on Thursday, say police? The food court at the Aventura Mall. An alert security guard gave cops the tip they needed.
Marrero?
The bubble burst. And Marrero now standing before a judge.
Yeah, you're supposed to stay away from this individual at least 500 feet away at all times.
She's ordered no contact with the victim. Tesla trouble lands this woman in jail.
If you F around enough, you're probably going to end up finding out. Now, you guys remember that Representative Jasmine Crockett specifically asked her supporters to take down Elon Musk for her birthday, right? Y'all remember that, right? Now, it looks like hundreds of liberals stormed the streets to show Elon Musk just how united they are against him. The problem is that many of these protests showed people who supported Elon Musk as well. And to make that even worse, Trump supporters made sure that they were seen by the people. You can see how many of them carry the American flag. And while protests happened nationwide, the support was also there for DOGE.
And protests today outside Tesla showrooms across the country, including here in New York. This is video from a Tesla location in the meatpacking district. Dozens of people marched in protest against Elon Musk and his Department of Government Efficiency, known as DOGE. The so-called Tesla takedown calls for a boycott of the car manufacturer. And in Paramus, New Jersey, there was a rally in support of Musk. These demonstrations held signs along Route 17 outside a dealership. They showed their support for Musk and his efforts to cut the federal government.
What is so wrong with cutting down government costs? Democrats were all about cutting costs several years ago. And so now this stunt from the left is inspiring those within the party with some common sense to finally wake up.
I never voted for Trump. Okay, I've voted Democrat since Gore. Do you understand how that's like 2000, right? I'm not voting Democrat again, right? Because of the stuff that I've seen, the vandalism and all that stuff. I'm never voting. I'd rather not vote than vote Democrat at this point. And I've voted Democrat for 25 years. So what does that tell you? You get about 150 or lower, like if you make 150 or lower.
Democrats are turning on each other. This is just unheard of. Now, I also have to address the scandal that's being spread around. It's been revealed that these protesters actually have a script to follow. They have a chant sheet, which is kind of worrying because they're looking more and more like a cult based off of these kinds of revelations. So let's talk about Elon Musk, shall we? He and his DOGE team feel confident that it's not going to take much longer for them to finish their job.
Tech billionaire suggesting his work for the administration may be wrapped up by the time he hits the 130-day limit as a so-called special government employee.
I think we will have accomplished most of the work required to reduce the deficit by $1 trillion.
While questions have been raised about some figures announced by DOGE without evidence, the joint appearance is a turn from what has been months of secrecy among the DOGE staffers, who are helping Musk reshape the federal government, an effort that Democrats have criticized for cutting critical government services.
We really believe that the government can have an Apple Store-like experience, beautifully designed, great user experience, modern systems.
The cost-cutting campaign now targeting Health and Human Services after the agency announced yesterday 10,000 jobs were being eliminated, including at the FDA and CDC.
I want to promise you now that we're going to do more with less.
Democrats blasting the move.
It is a catastrophe for the health care of every American.
Now, DOGE has a website and they list just how much money they've saved for the American people. So at this moment, they've saved more than $130 billion. Now, if we equate that to a stimulus check, each taxpayer would only receive around $800. But as we heard, he's thinking that they would at least get to $1 trillion in savings before he has to leave. And so that would mean that it's possible that DOGE would be able to provide $2,500 refund checks by May this year. Now, if Elon Musk stops at that point, it's also possible that some would probably be disappointed with the smaller checks. But I got a feeling that many struggling Americans wouldn't mind getting $2,500 of their own money back in their pockets in the form of a DOGE dividend stimulus check. Show of hands, guys. How many of you guys would be okay getting a check in, let's just say, May of 2025, even though it's only a $2,500 stimulus check? Would anybody be okay with that? Just let me know. And while a lot of supporters praise the work that DOGE has done, liberals continue to try and downplay just how much fraud and waste that they found. One such liberal is Jessica Tarlov. Just look at how she tries to diminish what DOGE has done in such a short span of time.
How could Democrats have any issue with them getting in there and cleaning up these messes?
If the messes are authentic, then absolutely get in there and clean them up. But the DOGE that we saw yesterday is not the DOGE that's actually been in action. So first and foremost, where is Amy Gleason? Because Amy Gleason is supposed to be in charge of DOGE. And I don't know if she's still on vacation in Mexico or what's it. Where's Big Balls? Right? We just got the Airbnb guy and the guy who wants to make it into the Apple Store. But where are the people that we've been reading about for months that are actually in our Social Security payments? There were, I'm sure, some things that they were talking about that are absolutely true. 40% seems really high in terms of the percentage of fraudster calls into Social Security. But what Musk and co didn't address is that they are closing Social Security offices all over the country, and that Republican representatives like Tom Cole from Oklahoma has to call Musk personally to say, please spare my district. That means, as Brett said, the 94-year-old grandma can't get through to someone, can't even walk down the street or get in her car, have someone drive her to go in there and deal with it.
The left always finds a way to criticize pretty much anything that the Trump administration does, no matter how good of a job that they're doing. The job of the left right now is to try and find something wrong with these mandates, even though a majority of voters wanted all of this to happen. The end goal is to have more money provided back to the right people. And so, yes, that also covers Social Security benefits, guys. Now, if you have the time, I covered a really interesting topic in one of my recent live streams, guys. Democratic Representative Jasmine Crockett was asked to her face if she owes Governor Greg Abbott an apology. Do you have any idea what she answered? Make sure you guys check that one out, because you're not going to believe what this woman actually says in Congress. As always, thanks for hitting the like button and subscribing. We'll see you guys next time.